Okay, so yeah, we're about to expose America's dirty draws. This is Samuel P. Bush. This is George W. Bush, great grandfather. By the way, this is Samuel P. Bush. And you can go, I'll give you the documentary here real quick here. You can go and check this whole documentary out. It's entitled Illuminati, the movie. Okay, his brother here goes in on this. I ain't gonna lie, he went in on this. Gave a boatloads of information. Water. Overabundance of waters of information in this article here. Now, some of it ends up going off in the latter end of it. You see this dude here. Goes off a bit there. It says, who's Buckeye Steel, Samuel P. Bush, whose Buckeye Steel Casting Company provides parts for Edward Harriman's railroads, who in turn provides rail shipments for John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil Company, who in turn gets monopoly financing money from the Rothschilds. Come on. So this is Samuel P. Bush, he already had a whole steel casting company. Probably was already making millions. And along the way, he ends up meeting other connections with even more money that he makes a partnership with. So you can see, and they were Edomites. So you can see how the Lord worked it out to where these puzzles would connect and come more broad and grow more broad, connect more pieces later on to get to where they is now. But while this was happening, how many Israelites was making money, getting rich? None. The Stuarts was basically one of the last kingdoms Jake was ruling as well. It was the Tsar Nicholas II. He was the last Jake that was actually in power, had some actual sovereignty. That's why you newer brothers for y'all, you got to get more into it, man. Go into Albert Pike, Letter to Mazzini. Go into that. Watch the GMS Cloisters Museum Marathon episode they made back in a couple of years back, but about 10 years back now. I thought I knew everything until I watched that video. I was like, man, I bet there's even some more I don't even know. And I'm still studying till this day. In my 5-year year in this truth. About to go on 6. I'm still studying and learning newer things. Prescott Bush, father of the first George Bush, is... Okay, so yeah. So he hooks up John D. Rockefeller, who in turn gets monopoly financing from the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are the same people, by the way, same family. Prescott Bush, father of the first George Bush, is the managing director of a Nazi steel manufacturing plant in Poland called Silesian Consolidated Steel. In episode 1, Prescott Bush forwards American financing to his German partners Fritz Thyssen through the Union Banking Corporation in New York. Let's go on down. Fritz Thyssen arranges a contract with Nazi Germany IG Farben Company. In episode 2, Skull and Bones Man. Prescott Bush, Skull and Bones. We'll get into Skull and Bones more later too. Basically, and Osama bin Laden comes into the scene later on too. You think that was just some random fucking barbaric tribal man that wanted to lead a charge against America with Islam? he just ended up getting all these guns, had all these guns, and came up with decided to go on an Islamic crusade against the American monotony, right? We'll see about that in a minute. In episode 2, Skull and Bones man, Prescott Bush and Barry Harriman. Barry Harriman, that's Amalekite, by the way, getting caught under Trading with the Enemy Act as the U.S. government. By the U.S. government, yeah. Why didn't Bush get arrested for that? Then Skull and Bones ties and benefits, as long as you're loyal to him, to death, and get you much very far, especially if you're an Edomite. Ain't no nigga in the Skull and Bones brotherhood. I can tell you that much. Just like ain't no actual black dude ever actually step his foot in the actual Freemasonic Grand Lodge Temple. Not the Grand Lodge Temple. Maybe in your own little local setup Esau gave you to make you feel like you're, part of his table. Keep you from revolting against him, right? MLK found out for you how that works. And Malcolm X. Hence why we're cursed. It says the U.S. government seizes all their shares in Union Banking Corporation. In episode 3, George Bush, the first son of Prescott, is director. This is the first George Bush, director of the CIA. Now, when you look at George Bush, by the way, this man has no types of high education skills that on him, you can tell on him that would tell you, oh yeah, he worked his way up there very hard for that position. No, they put them up there. Yeah, the Skull and Bones is a huge, very powerful brotherhood, in particularly in Yale, that finance their members in high positions in the government, U.S. Senate, right? Big offices in the White House, CIA. Says, he puts drug. Let's see what he did as a CIA director. He says he puts drug kingpin Manuel Noriega on the CIA payroll, allowing tons of thousands of cocaine to hit the streets of America via the Panama Canal. Let's check this out. Episode 4, George's son, the second Bush. George Bush, the first son, Bush the second here, becomes partner with Osama bin Laden's older brother, Salam bin Laden, in a Texas oil company called Arbuso Company. Yep. Why? Because Osama bin Laden's father, ultimately, he was come to find out, he was very rich man. When you go into a photo of him and his family, he had so many sons, right? To have that many sons, you gotta have money, bread. And when you go into the photo, you look in the background, it's a big ass house they had back there, man. Let's get some scriptures here, actually, before I continue. I just want to get that. We bring the scriptures out. I'll just continue in Proverbs 5, going back to this point here. Right, 10. Let strangers feast on your wealth, and your toil enrich the house of another. So this is a curse once again. We're bringing you out the information, critical information here. Just showing you the witchcraft and the whoredom of America here. That's why America's no reference to that whore. We brought out Proverbs 5 going into the ways of the whore is dangerous. When you go look at the word fornication, the root word of the word fornication, goes into the Greek word porneia, which goes into illicit sex, and illicit sex can go into adultery. Once again, the dangerous ways of the strange woman. Because you'll fuck around and fall in love with her ass. She's gonna go and sleep with another nigga. That's what happens. This is Deuteronomy 28. Let's get a scripture on this. 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. And ain't that what we are? That's exactly what we is. 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee. This was King David. Reincarnation unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. This nation there was America. Primarily, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. The Mecca, Kaaba over there, Syria, and also the Rock of the Dome over there in Israel, where the first and second temple used to be. In God of wood and stone, so that's stone there, wood. Gods of wood. Oh yeah, you got Halloween coming up, which that goes into also Molech, which back in the time was also called Baal, and then later on it changed into Odin. Halloween technically goes into sacrifice, putting your children through that fire. Those were gods that were made of wood and also stone too. Primarily today, the gods of wood and stone they're just now incorporated into the cross, false Christianity, and then stone that was Islam. "43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high." And when we look into these things, these elites are up there high. "And thou shalt come down very low." And when we look at us, go into the hoods today. Wow, do me a favor. If you don't think we're cursed, you're a dick. Or if you need a reminder, do a walk through in the hood. Let's walk through the hood, man. Tell me we ain't cursed. Take your local main bus route, goes all around the city. Sit down on that bus, pay your fare, and take a ride on that bus, and tell me that your people ain't cursed. I bet you once you get to your destination of that ride, you'll get a more broad understanding of how cursed we is. Let's read on down here. It says where in episode 5 it introduces George W. Shady younger brother Neil Bush ripping off the elderly in the Silverado savings and loan scandal costing U.S. taxpayers $1.3 billion. In episode 6, the Florida election, another way to prove that the whoredom and witchcraft of America is the elections are rigged, the water, fluoride, don't drink water from the tap. That shit has fluoride in it. Introduces W. Shady younger. Episode 6, the Florida election is rigged by George W. Bush's older brother Jeff Bush, who puts Brother George at the top of the White House.